Hello, everyone, and welcome again to another DI or direct instruction on atoms and elements or chemistry, specifically dealing with the pen. So, P for protons, E for electrons, N for neutrons. So, what exactly is this? So, first things first, we know that atoms, what are atoms? These are the building blocks. Let me call on my focus pen here. Yeah, atoms are building blocks. If you want to create a language, you'll need an alphabet. And if you want to build molecules, you will need atoms from different elements. And elements are the alphabet in the language of molecules. Prior to this DI, we took up in class the formulas and counting of the atoms. Remember that? We said that the number before the formula, we refer to that as the coefficient, which tells us, of course, the number of molecules, right? And of course, the subscripts would kind of help us find out the number of atoms. So, and you made use of the periodic table. And I hope by now you put in the colors as well as the legend to those colors, right? And for example, for instance, if I ask from you later on, give me the alkali metals, so this would be the alkali metals that you see on the left side: lithium, sodium, potassium, rubidium, cesium, francium, right? So with the atoms, we have this common representation of the atom, right? And think of the solar system. The center would contain what? The P and the N, or the protons and the neutrons. Now think of the planets as the electrons. They're kind of moving around the nucleus, right? And and of course, as you can see from this diagram, right? So the nucleus in the center, right? And you will note also the signs, right? So the electrons moving around the nucleus are negatively charged. The neutron is basically electrically neutral. So what else do I have here? Now, there you go, the signs. But of course, our concern would be how do you deal with the Google assignment, right? So, have something like this, right? You're asked to fill out the table, complete the table, right? And as you can see from here, right, the name of the element may be given, and then fill in the rest, like how to write the symbol, or what is the atomic number, atomic mass, and then the protons, the electrons, and the neutrons. So, how do you deal with that? How do you solve this particular problem now? Or how do you fill in the table? So, let me just use the teacher copy here so that I don't mess up with your copy. So, from here, for instance, so part of the just hide this so that I can see the rest. So part of the activity here, right? You get to see the isotope notation, as we call it. So here, this is now how we can represent our elements. So you have here the symbol of the element, right? And the number on top of it would be the mass. The mass, if you recall, is concentrated in the nucleus. That's why you have the protons and the neutrons. And the number below would refer to the atomic number or to the number of protons. So these are positively charged. Now, a good question now to ask is how do we get the number of neutrons? So the number of neutrons is nothing but the mass number, the number on top. So it can be the mass number minus the number of protons. Okay, and just type that out. Okay, so maybe I could just bold this out so that in your copies later on you can do the same, right? So I hope by now you know how to adjust this one, right? So you can adjust the sizes so that maybe this is too big, right? So maybe just maybe around 18, maybe. Yes, 18 would be perfect. So that would be how we usually get the number of neutrons. Again, right? So you have the symbol. Now, the number on top would refer to the mass. And where is the mass when you have the periodic table? Again, a number with those decimal places rounded off to the nearest whole number, that is the mass. So for instance, if I have here um, lithium, for instance, it is 6.94 rounded off. So that's a 7. 7 now is the mass, right? And of course, the atomic number now, the idea is that it would be the same as the number of protons. So remember that. So when we get back to your copy, right, and you are asked to complete the table. So let's go back to your table, this one. Let's have the first one here, okay? So neon, okay? Let's say neon. So everyone, try and just go back to your periodic table. What is now the symbol for neon? So let me just have it here, neon. It would be under the noble gases. So this is now neon. You see this? Ne. Go back to your table and write down Ne, right? Capital letter and then small letter. Remember always that if your element would have two letters, the first one is always in uppercase, the second one must always be in small caps or lowercase. Atomic number, where can I see that? Go back to your periodic table. So neon, the number of on top, right? So we said, oh, that's a 10. So go back again to this table, write the number 10. Oh, atomic mass. So where is the atomic mass? Again, look at that value where you have the decimal numbers, right? So here, um, neon. So I have here 20.180. So just say 20 there, right? Remember that the mass is akin to the weight or how heavy is your element. So there you go, 20. So I'm going to type down here 20. Are you following so far? Okay. Now protons. So what are these, right? Again, go back to your notation. Oh, the atomic number is equal to the number of protons. So when I am here, right? If I go back to this one, right? So I get to see here. We said that this is now the same as the atomic number. So you need to type in 10 here, okay? And electrons. So how do we deal with the number of electrons? It is also equal to, did I hear that? Yes, it is also equal to a 10 here, right? And then moving on, how do I now get the number of neutrons? Now, if you're at a loss, you always go back to the isotope notation. So here, so neutrons now is the mass number minus the number of protons. So that being the case, what is the mass? The mass is what? This one, 20, minus the number of protons. So you can say 20 minus 10. You need a calculator for that. You can have mental math here, right? 20 minus 10 would be a 10, right? Enter. And since we are really just so used to pixel art, now you know that you are kind of getting the number, the image right, because slowly you are forming an image on the right side. So it would be interesting what would come out as the final picture on this side, right? So as you try and fill in the numbers here on the left side, slowly a pixel image would emerge. So let me know later on how you come up with all these values and share with me what's the final pixel image that you've seen. Now, interestingly, here another case of what is given and how do you figure out the rest of the data here. Let's say this time it's O, the letter O. So where is the letter O? So go back to your table, right? You have a copy of this periodic table, a physical copy. So oxygen. Where is oxygen now? And sometimes you have this big reminder in your head that the elements on the left side are basically metals and the one on the right side are non-metals. So oxygen is a non-metal. So your eyes would slowly be trained to look for elements on the right side, right? So oxygen, oh, there it is. Oh, when you type down the name, right? So go back to your table and then you can just say oxygen, right? Like the name, you want to start with a capital letter, right? And the rest would be lowercase, oxygen. Okay, so there you go. So atomic number again, right? So let me just do a couple of this, and the rest you can do on your own, hopefully, right? If not, always refer to this as short DI. So atomic number. Hmm. Atomic number. Where again is that? There you go. It is 8, right? So 8. So type down 8. 8, enter. Atomic mass. How heavy is the element? Again, train your brain to remember, oh, the one that's commonly with a decimal point, that would be the mass number. So oxygen, we're dealing with oxygen. It says here 15.999 rounded off to the nearest whole number. So that would be what? Yes, correct. That's 16. So 16, type out 16 here. And we said earlier that the number of protons is the same as the atomic number. So put down 8 there. And how about the number of protons? Still the same. Atomic number is equal to the number of protons equal to the number of electrons for electrically neutral elements, right? So there it goes. You put there the 8. And how do you figure out the number of neutrons again? So it would be 1. So if you are at a loss, you can always go to the notation. All number of neutrons mass number minus the number of protons, right? So let's go back to our table here. So mass minus the number of protons. So 16 minus 8, what do you think? It would still, it would be 8, right? Correct. I don't know if something has changed in our pixel image here. Slowly, right? Hmm. What could it be? Like, interesting to see what would be the final image here, right? So let's see. Oh, so very interesting, right? So I think when we have pixel art, it really makes learning more fun, right? So I know we could just really just make it happen. The connection always with art, right? So, interesting now. You are not given the name of the element. You do not even know the symbol. So how can you fill that one out? But you are given the atomic number. Interesting. So if I go to the periodic table, so atomic number is 6. What is 6? Well, you know that atomic numbers are in increasing order or pattern. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So left to right. So 6 is the atomic number. Oh, that's the letter C or carbon, right? So so this is C and it should be capital, right? And write down the name. So this is no carbon. Atomic mass, the one with the decimal number, round it off to the nearest whole number. So let's now get into our periodic table. So carbon, 12.011. That's a 12, right? So you type in again here 12. And what do we know about the number of protons? It's the same as the atomic number and also equal to the number of electrons. So there you go. You have a 6 there. So this is a 6. And this is also a 6. And how do you get again the number of neutrons? It is what? The mass number minus what? The number of protons. Or you can even say, oh, the number of the atomic number or the electrons. So 12 minus 6 would be a 6, right? And slowly we can get more pixels out in here. And let's see. Slowly there's the addition of colors there now, right? So interestingly, that would be nice to just see upon solving all the problems. Okay. Now, the challenge now for you guys would be to complete this table. So you now have 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. That's it. A very interesting topic on the pen. So that's it. And I hope you will have fun doing this, right? So, and then the next topic after this can be on balancing of equations. That's another TI coming up, okay? But for now, concentrate on the pen. So a different kind of pen, yeah? Although I'm holding uh, the classic pen here, okay? So that's it. Ciao for now.